So welcome to the copywriting and sales masterclass by yours truly, Digital Deepak. And today we are going to go ahead and focus on how you can become a master at sales and copywriting. And how many of you here, just tell me this in the chat box, received my email about copywriting to your email ID? Just type me in the chat box if you have got it. Fantastic. So you would have understood the power of copywriting looking at that email, right? And basically what we are doing here is that we are understanding copywriting because if you are doing digital marketing and if you are trying to convert people, then without copywriting, your entire marketing funnel and your entire marketing engine will stop working. It will just not work, because imagine that you are getting the traffic to your website, you are getting the traffic to your opt-in list, you are having an email list. How are you going to monetize all these things? Only if you know how to sell something, and only if you go ahead and sell something to your audience, you can actually go ahead and monetize whatever traffic that you are generating, right? So this is what I always say: generate high traffic and then do deep marketing. So deep marketing is basically sending personalized communications. You would have understood that when I taught you marketing automation, and a lot of people here would have attended my marketing automation masterclass. And even marketing automation will not work if you don't actually go ahead and sell something. So that is why we are learning copywriting and sales in the first place, right? So before that, before we go ahead and talk about copywriting and sales, let's understand why ads are ineffective in the first place. And a lot of people who have not done door-to-door sales. I don't know if you here, if you the people here have done door-to-door sales or not, but people who have done door-to-door sales would know that it is very difficult, and it is very difficult to take that rejection when you try to go out and sell something and people say no. It's very difficult to take that rejection, but over time you get better. And even initially when I started doing webinars, I did not get much show up rate. So today, right now, we have 2,700 people on the webinar live today, but initially even I did not get many live people, and I was not able to make much sales. So there are two different types of advertising. One is just ads and one is direct response advertising. So direct response advertising means that we are trying to get back a response from the ad so that we can know the ad is working or not. So that is direct response advertising. And one of the greatest advertising masters in the world, called David Ogilvy. So this is the book that I am reading right now, Confessions of an Advertising Man by David Ogilvy. And David Ogilvy has created like the greatest marketing advertising agency of all time. And he has like more than 300 offices around the world. And that's how big David Ogilvy is. You might have even heard about it. They are an advertising agency. And they focus on direct response advertising, which means that you have to solicit a response, which means that there has to be a call to action. If you are putting an ad, there has to be something like, go ahead and call this number, go ahead and call this number to order it, or cut out a coupon, or go to this link and pay via credit card. Without that, you will not know whether the ad is working or not. But unfortunately, a lot of people who do not have a background in advertising and marketing, who have not done sales door to door, they go ahead and try to come up with creative ads, and they call it branding. They go ahead and put out a sweet ad, which is like a funny ad, or sometimes the ads are like singing. There is a jingle in the ad. Imagine if you are going door to door sales, and if you start singing in front of the customer, how foolish it would be. The customer will not take you seriously. But unfortunately, when you look at a lot of ads today for a lot of companies, you will be able to see that they are just trying to entertain. They are trying to be cute, and sometimes there are also award functions being held for these types of ads. Like for example, in America, USA, there is Super Bowl, and Super Bowl commercials are really costly. That is the football match that they do. And when it comes to Super Bowl, every year they do like an award about the best type of ad. So some of these ads are like very cute, very touching, very entertaining, very inspirational, but they do not sell the product. Like for example, there was this company called pet.com, and pet.com had like a very, very nice ad which ran on the Super Bowl commercial, and they spent like millions of dollars for it. And I think some 20-second ad or 30-second ad cost like millions of dollars. That's how much they have to spend for those TV ads. And what happened was that pet.com got an award for one of the cutest ad that they have done, but pet.com went out of business. It went out of business within a few years. It was not able to sustain. So just because you create a nice looking ad, inspiring ad, that does not mean that your business is going to survive, and it does not mean that the ad is going to get sales. I hope you will agree with me on that. Now I will open the chat box. Just type agree in the chat box if you agree with me on that. Fantastic. So, that's what we are going to understand with direct response marketing and with copywriting. All right. So with copywriting, what we are doing is that we are trying to convince a customer, and we are trying to convert them into a customer, try to convert a prospect into a customer. And that's what we are doing with, copywriting and advertising. So this is called direct response marketing. And there is a difference between an ad and a late night infomercial. And I'm pretty sure that you might have seen a lot of late night infomercials on TV, where late night at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, there will be an ad for a exercise equipment. There will be an ad for something weight loss. And sometimes there will be something like an ad for like a spiritual thing or something. They will say that, hey, go ahead and get this stone. And if you get this stone, you will have luck or something like that. So that doesn't, like, many times what happens is that these late night infomercials do not have really quality products or do not have great products, but the fact that they are continuously running these late night infomercials means that they are selling. And one of the best parts about the late night infomercials is that it's direct response advertising, which means that you are asking for a response. So you have seen that the late night infomercials, they have this call to action. They say, call this number to order now, and they will put a phone number. And they will know that if these calls are not coming after the infomercial, then the ad is not working. So one of the biggest mindset shifts that you need to have when you are coming into the digital marketing world is that you cannot use digital marketing like a huge billboard, right? And one of the problems that I see when it comes to digital marketing agencies outside is that most of the digital marketing agencies are remnants of old ad agencies. And very big companies, when they approach the ad agencies, the ad agency will create like a cute looking ad, and this cute looking ad will be like touchy. It will be inspirational. It will be like, having a music or something. And these ad agencies used to create an ad, and then they used to go ahead and put it out on TV, they put it out on radio, they put it out on newspaper, they put it out on magazines, right? So these are the traditional marketing channels that you have. And it is good for the ad agencies that you cannot really track how many sales are coming from that. The ad agency will say that, hey, this is helping you with branding, but who knows whether it is really bringing the sales or not. People will look at a cute ad and they will forget. And when you look at a lot of ad, they don't have text, they just have like one line, and then they have like the logo. So this is not how it is done, and this is the mistake that a lot of ad agencies do. And one of the problems with the traditional digital marketing agencies out there is that they treat the internet also like a huge billboard. They just go ahead and plaster the ads there. And you know very well that, like, do you even remember going ahead and clicking on a banner ad? And do you even remember taking a lot of interest on a YouTube ad that you have seen? These are all interruptive ads. It just interrupts you, irritates you. But if I am sending you a mail about copywriting, which is like 2000 words long, you are reading it because I am communicating to you. So direct response marketing is usually direct communication. Traditional ads is just on your face. It does not work. So traditional advertising methods cannot be brought into digital marketing. But unfortunately, a lot of ad agencies, what they are doing is that they are going ahead and treating the internet like a huge billboard. So what they did, earlier they used to create video ads and put it out on TV. Now they are creating video ads and putting it on YouTube. Earlier they used to put print ads. Now they are creating the same ads and putting it as banner ads. And only like one or two out of, only like one or two out of 1,000 people will actually click on a banner ad. And nowadays a lot of people use ad blockers. They don't even use the ad, and YouTube has come up with YouTube Premium. And right now I'm using YouTube Premium. It's just like around 100 rupees a month, and it eliminates all the ads. So all these ads are a problem. So that is why direct response advertising is powerful, where the way I advertise a free digital marketing course, and then it's a direct response. I know whether the ad is working or not. Imagine that if I just go ahead and do a branding ad, hey, Digital Deepak, digital marketing, internship program or whatever, how would I even know whether the ad is working or not, right? So I hope you are clear until this point. What is direct response advertising? Just type clear in the chat box if you are clear until this point. Let me open up the chat box again. Fantastic. So looks like pretty much everyone is clear about it. If I see any spam, I'm going to throw you out of the room. There is no point in coming and spamming here. Go do your own webinar. Go do your own audience building. Why are you coming here and putting links? Do you think even somebody is going to click? You are just wasting your time if you are sharing links here. Go ahead and do content marketing. All right. Go and do content marketing, create value. Fantastic. So I will just close the chat right now. And see, and again, we looked at lead generation video where we looked at the products that are existing towards the left end of the spectrum, which is like FMCG products, or let's say a notebook or a pen or a chocolate or a shampoo or a soap. For these things, you need those kind of ads. For everything else, you need direct response marketing and direct response ads. All right. So now we will talk about how do you write a good sales copy. All right. So how do you write a good sales copy? And a lot of people think that people will not read long sales copies. And it is very true when they say that people will not read long sales copies, but people who are interested buyers will read long sales copies. And I will show you my landing page for my digital marketing mastery program. And you will see how long the landing page is. And you can see how long the landing page is here. So this is a sales page and this is a sales copy that I have written. It is actually written by my copywriter, to be very precise. And here you can see this is like a very, very long sales copy. And a lot of people ask me, will people read such a long sales copy? No, people will not read long sales copy, but the buyers will read. If you are going to go ahead and spend 10,000 rupees, 20,000 rupees on a program, then you would like to get as much information about it as possible. And the higher you spend, the higher is the sales cycle and the more information that you would need if you have to go ahead and sell something, right? Or buy something very serious. Like for example, let's say you are buying a car. Will you just go to the showroom and if the salesman is saying that, hey sir, this car has won the award, this is the best car in the world or best car in India for this year, will you just go ahead and buy it? You will ask questions, right? How much mileage does it give? Does it have power steering? Does it have an audio system? Does it have USB? Does it have a iPhone charger or an Android charger? Does it have USB output? What is the service? So many questions you are going to ask, which is the same when you are trying to sell something. You cannot go ahead and sell something without actually answering all the questions that people have. And to answer all the questions that people have, you need to write a long sales copy. So that is why I have tried it time and time again. Long sales copy is always selling more stuff than short sales copy, and you can go and do your own research on the internet. Every marketing expert will agree that long sales copy sells better than short sales copy. It's not about looking cute, it's about trying to convince the customer to buy your product or service. So until now, it is clear. Just type clear in the chat box if it is clear. Fantastic. So I see a very few people saying not clear, not clear. Guys, if it is not clear for you, then I would recommend that you watch this video again, or maybe join my internship program where I will explain this whole thing in a much, much in-depth way. And I will also give you an exercise where you can go ahead and write sales copy and see how it works. All right. Fantastic. So let's go ahead. And so as I said, I will not be selling anything on this webinar. And this is only a value webinar. But however, is it okay if I ask you to go ahead and retweet a tweet that I have put out? So this is the tweet that I have put out. A great ad does not entertain. A great ad educates and sells. And a great ad that sells runs for years without becoming stale. Right? If the ad does not make the cash register ring, it is useless. Cute, entertaining, and funny ads are a waste of time. Ads are not meant to be ego boosters, right? And a lot of people put out an ad trying to boost their own ego. They will put their own face on the ad, and they try to just build their personal brand. You cannot build a personal brand just by just putting your face on the ad. It's just like a politician, right? You just try to go ahead and put your face everywhere, right? So let me go ahead and share the tweet that I have put out. So this is what I am asking for in return for this free webinar. Just spread the word. Go ahead and retweet it, like it, comment on it. I have shared the link with you on the chat box. Go ahead and let's see how many retweets we get today. All right. So a great ad does not entertain. A great ad educates and sells. A great ad that sells runs for years without becoming stale. And that is very true. And I have been running the Digital Marketing Mastery Bundle Ka ad for several years now. Several years. Once you create it, it becomes an asset. It keeps bringing you sales for a long time to come. And one of the best ways to go ahead and try to convert your money into profit is to put it on advertising. And if you put money on advertising where you are having like a proper sales copy, which is selling a product, then the ad can keep running for a long time to come, right? The ad can keep running for a long time to come. Guys, we have 2,800 people live on this webinar. I've got only 167 retweets. Just go ahead, take a few seconds, retweet it, and let's continue with the webinar. All right, I've shared the link with you. Fantastic. So let's get back to the slide deck. So now we will look at some of the conversion triggers that is available when it comes to sales. All right, we will look at some of the conversion triggers. And here I'm going to talk about 7 different conversion triggers that will convert strangers into buyers. And these are the triggers that we use in copywriting. And then towards the end of this webinar, what we are going to do is that we are going to have a look at sales techniques, how we are going to convert a prospective customer into an actual customer. So if you have done the tweet, just type done in the chat box. If you are done with the tweet, fantastic. Thanks for tweeting out, guys. Really appreciate it. So I will close the chat box again. And I hope you are able to hear my audio clearly and see my video clearly. Just type clear in the chat box. And if you are able to see my screen, which is the slide deck, clear? Fantastic. And how many of you are feeling that the audio is like really clear? So thanks to my new mic, which is the Rode mic, studio condenser mic that I got recently. Fantastic. So now let's get to a very interesting part of this entire presentation of today's presentation. We are going to have a look at how to convert strangers into buyers, the 7 triggers. And I will close the chat box for now so that we don't get distracted by it. I don't get distracted by it. So this is very powerful, guys. And this I read in a book called Influence. You might want to read that book. It's by Robert Cialdini. And in this book, Influence, Robert Cialdini talks about the 7 different triggers which will influence people to take action. And these techniques are really powerful. And the most interesting part is that even outside the business context, even if you want to influence your friends, even if you want to influence your family members, even if you want to get out of a troublesome situation, you will be able to use these 7 triggers. That's the beauty about it. So let's go ahead and have a look at the different types of triggers that we have. The first trigger is reciprocity. And reciprocity basically means that if you give people something, then they feel like there is an obligation to give it back. For example, the whole Indian society system or the family system has been built on reciprocity. You know, if you have a, let's say, birthday party for your kid, then people are going to come and give you gifts. And then when you go to a birthday party at their home, you have to give gifts, right? So there is a reciprocity. If people give you gifts for a marriage and people keep count, no, okay, these are the relatives who gave me like a gold coin, and then you have to go ahead and give back a gold coin to them back, right? You know, so that is reciprocity. So if they help them, like for example, if you help them, they have an obligation to help you. And reciprocity is ingrained in the human psyche because humans are social animals. Humans are not individual hunters. Humans are always social animals. And right from the ages of, let's say, caveman period, thousands and thousands of years back, people always felt that, you know, humans need to live in a cohesive society, and the cohesion increases once there is a lot of give and take. So somebody helps you when you are sick, you help them when they are sick. And this technique can be used in sales, obviously in an ethical way. And this technique has also been used in a lot of religious organizations. Like for example, if you look at Hare Krishna devotees go and give a rose flower to people and in the airport, and these people take the rose flower and then they ask for a donation. It's very difficult to say no to it. And in 2008 I got an opportunity to go to US, And that was the first time I went to US, and the only time. I have not been there after that. I was there in US for 2 weeks. And I came out of the airport. I was feeling very nervous because that is the first time I'm going into a new country. And as soon as I came out, I was waiting for my uncle to pick me up. My uncle was staying there in a place called Fontana, which is in Los Angeles. So I landed in Los Angeles airport, and I was trying to call him, and obviously my phone was not working. So I went out of the airport, and I was just trying to see if I could find a phone somewhere. And there was a guy, and he came and said that, hey, what do you want? Like, I'm trying to call my uncle, and do you want to use my phone? I was like, yeah, let me go ahead and use your phone. And I called him. He picked up, and he said he's just around the corner. And I was waiting him at the exit gate, and he was about to come and pick me up. And then after I hung up the phone and gave the phone back, he was asking for a donation. Hey, I am collecting funds for this. Will you give me a donation? And I was like, no, I don't have any US dollars. But then he was like, no, I accept Indian rupees also. And in that moment, it was very difficult for me to say no. I obviously do a lot of charitable activities. I donate a lot of money that I earn to charities. But in this case, what happened was that I usually don't give out randomly for anyone who is asking for a donation. But here I had to go and give it to him because I already took the help from him, right? So that is the power of reciprocity. If you help people, they will help you back. And you have seen that I have been using this technique over and over again. Create a lot of value, and then people will give it back to you. So that is why I have given my digital marketing courses for free. I've given a lot of other courses for free. I'm doing this webinar for free. And once you give value, once you create value for other people will have an obligation to give it back. So how many of you agree with it? Just type agree in the chat box if you agree with the first principle of influence, which is reciprocation. And if you go ahead and imagine that you are a freelancer, and if you are trying to get clients for your business, imagine that if you do a free consultation, you put a form, and you do a free consultation, and then they will feel like, okay, just for free, this guy is giving me so much value. I think I can go ahead and do business with them. And I have applied it in job applications as well. Like, for example, I got a very good job at this company called Razorpay. And when I went ahead and joined Razorpay, even before I joined them, I started working for them. I created like a 10 page consultation PDF document, 10-page document. And in that document, I went ahead and gave them tips on how they can improve the conversion ratio on the landing page. And I put Digital Deepak logo there. And I created value even before I went ahead and tried to ask for a job. And then people were like, okay, this guy already knows what he is talking about. Let's go and give the job to him. And after I got the offer letter also, I continuously started sending them value. Hey, try this. Hey, try that. And that created a very strong obligation. And it is true that a lot of people will take value and they will not give it back. And it's okay. You just need that 2% of the people to give it back. And here we have 2,831 people live in the webinar today. And I don't mind if 2,500 of you are going to take this value and don't give it back, because I'm not spending more money if I'm teaching more people, right? Whether there are 1,000 people in the webinar, 2,000 people in the webinar, I could do the same content for people by charging for it, right? This is very good quality content. It took me 10 years to understand all this, and I could charge people for this content. But if I charge people for this content, then I'm not impacting as many lives as I can. And here, if I am doing this webinar for 100 people, or whether I'm doing this webinar for 2,800 people, the amount of energy I put is the same, but it is reaching more people. It is creating more value for people. So that is why reciprocity is the most powerful form of getting business and trying to convert people. So just type R in the chat box so that we can remember. So first thing is R, reciprocity. And I will tell you the 7 triggers, and I will tell you a simple formula for remembering everything, so that you can always keep it in mind. Whenever you are going out and doing marketing, whenever you are doing business, you can keep running it on your mind. These are all the triggers that you have to use. All right. Fantastic. So I will just switch off the chat box for a while. And now let's look at the second most important trigger when it comes to conversion. It is consistency. Consistency basically means that people are more likely to be consistent with their actions than trying to go ahead and be non-consistent, right? Like for example, I had an old uncle, and this uncle always would ask me, Deepak, what bike should I buy? And I would tell him, go ahead and buy Hero Honda, because at that time I had a Hero Honda bike. And he went ahead and had a Bajaj bike. And then he used to tell me that, your Hero Honda bike is more stylish. I think it has better quality. I think it has a better service. The dealership in this particular city is not really taking good care of it. What do I do? And he would keep saying that. And then the second bike that he bought is also a Bajaj bike, because he feels comfortable with the brand. There is a brand loyalty. So people are always consistent with their actions, because if people agree on their mind, okay, I'm going to go with this brand, then they would like to stick to their brand. Because if they go ahead and change their brand, then they would feel like they made a wrong decision earlier, and people do not like to accept they are wrong. They usually try to stick to what they have done before, right? So that is again, when you look at the way I'm using consistency in my business, instead of going ahead and selling a 20,000 rupees program directly, I'm selling ebooks. I'm selling 99 rupees workshops, 599 rupees, 499 rupees ebooks, and sometimes mini courses, and boot camp. And then I sell a 2,000 rupees course, 5,000 rupee course. So what happens is that it's not difficult for people to part with a little bit of money initially, and then they are like, okay, this is a lot of value. And once they get a lot of value, and then I sell them a higher product. So this is the marketing funnel, right? You first give away something for free, and then you sell something for a small amount, then you sell it for a bigger amount, and then you sell like a personal mentorship program or something like that for a much, much higher amount. So this means that people are consistent. People will like to be consistent. So instead of trying to go ahead and sell something which is like very premium, you start with a small thing, and try to get people involved in it. And initially, when you are doing something like a free webinar, then what happens is that people are not paying me money. Right now, you are not paying me money, but you are paying me attention. It is still some form of currency, right? You are paying me attention, which means that you are still paying me. And today you are paying me attention. Maybe, just maybe, tomorrow you might be okay buying my course also, right? So agree, just type agree in the chat box if you agree with the second principle of the trigger. Fantastic. So now, first one was R, second one was C. So reciprocity and then consistency or commitment. You can also call it commitment or consistency. So RC, just type RC in the chat box so that you can remember RC. Fantastic. So RC means reciprocity and consistency. So now I will go to the third trigger. The third trigger is authority. We are always influenced by someone who is in a position of authority. And who is the simplest form of authority? Who is the simplest form of authority? We see that in our home every day. Who is the authority in our home? Our dads, right? Dad, or some people are saying mom. Yeah, sometimes it's mom. So when the person who is in the position of authority tells you something, then you have to listen to them, right? It's either the dad or the mom, or in some houses it is the grandpa who is having the authority, and in some houses it is the wife who has the authority. So jokes apart, anyway, so I'm audible, guys? I'm audible? Yes. Fantastic. Cool. So, when someone in the position of authority tells us something, we are much more likely to agree. Like, for example, let's say you have a problem and you are consulting a lawyer, and the lawyer is telling you something. You are going to listen to him because the lawyer has an authority. If you have a health problem, you are going to a doctor and you are asking the doctor something. Whatever the doctor says, you are going to listen because the doctor has the authority when it comes to that particular topic, which is the health. And imagine that you have TV ads, right? You have TV ads and you have ads for toothbrush and toothpaste. And here you will see that there is a person who looks like a dentist who is wearing a white lab coat, and he is wearing a stethoscope, and he is telling that, hey, this toothpaste is best. And in a lot of times what will happen is that we know that these people are not real dentists, they are just actors. But still in the subconscious mind, we are feeling that, okay, if a doctor says, I have to listen. So that is why there are like fake dentists and fake doctors who come to these ads and try to convince you into something. So how do you create your authority? How do you create your positioning for me? So do you think that, okay, no stethoscope for dentist, that might have been a mistake, but they still wear a white lab coat, right? Sorry for that mistake, guys. You don't need to point out mistakes like this. Or sometimes they do, guys. Sometimes they do. I don't know. Anyway, that's not the point I'm trying to make here. Basically, the point that I'm trying to make here is that if someone from a position of authority goes ahead and tells someone something, then it's going to be much more influential. So if you are trying to convince someone of something, then you have to establish your authority. You have to establish your positioning. And what do you think will establish the authority? How can we establish authority? We can go ahead and try to write we can be a published author. So I am a published author. When I have written a book and it has very good ratings on Amazon, then it also creates social proof and it also creates authority. Do you think that I am an authority in digital marketing when it comes to marketing, sales, and entire funnel? Yes. So how do you perceive me as an authority in the first place? There are signals of authority, right? Okay, Deepak is doing training for corporates like Mercedes-Benz. Deepak has an agency where he has clients like Nikon and very big Fortune 500 companies. Deepak has written a book. Deepak has thousands of students who have got results from his program, not just found out that his program is good. He's actually getting results from the program. So this is how you establish your authority, right? You establish your authority by having a lot of signals. You also do a lot of consistency with the kind of work that you do, and then you will develop authority over time, right? So, and this authority is not built by trying to boast myself. This authority is built by creating value directly for end customers, and you need to have results. Your customers, students, whatever you are selling, your customers or students should have results from you. If they don't have results, then you are not going to build the authority. You can't keep blowing your own trumpet, right? And that's one of the reasons I have cut down on self introduction a lot. I don't introduce myself in these webinars anymore. It becomes kind of repetitive. A lot of people have already seen it. It becomes boring. But a lot of people here, I think around 50% of the people here are newbies. I mean, like, they are attending my webinar for the first time. But I am building my authority not by talking about myself, but by actually giving value to you. And a lot of people ask me, how do you build authority if you are just starting in the journey? If you are just starting in the journey, like, somewhere you have to start, right? Blogging, personal branding, building authority, it's all about starting somewhere. To 2013, when I started my Digital Deepak blog, I did not have any authority, but slowly I built that authority. And it is just like going ahead and planting a tree. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years back. The next best time is today. And when you look at the best time to start building your personal brand was 5 years back, the next best time is today. So the three major triggers are RCA. Just type RCA in the chat box if you understand that it's RCA, right? So reciprocity, consistency, authority. So now that you will remember, it's RCA. And now let's look at the most important thing in the next step, which is, I will ask you to guess. What do you think is the most important step which is influencing factor when it comes to trying to build your sales? Or, like, let's say you go ahead and try to buy something from Amazon. What do you look at first? You look at ratings, right? Social proof. So social proof is the fourth major trigger of influence. And if a customer is giving a positive review to you, that is becoming your asset. Every positive review that you get is becoming an asset for you. And what happens is that when you start building social proof, sales start becoming easier and easier, and it becomes like a chain effect. So here you can see that Apple, whenever they launch an iPhone, there is a queue standing. So other people are looking at it, and what is so amazing with the iPhone, that people are actually standing in queue for it. So people get amazed by it, and it creates a lot of social proof. And how many of you have seen a lot of feedback and positive feedback for my internship program? And when you enrolled in the internship program, was it like the biggest impact that was making you decide to go ahead and buy? And this is not just for everyone, it is also for marketers. Even marketers get influenced by it. If I am buying a product or service, I would look at the rating, right? So that is the importance of social proof. And once you have social proof, you don't need anything else. You will automatically go ahead and build authority. You will have consistency. And initially, when you are doing, you need to have reciprocity, but you need to do social proof as well. So RCAS, right? RCAS. So these are the triggers that you use in copywriting, and when you look at sales pages, everything will be there. All these triggers will be there. They will give like a free something, and then there will be an authority, there will be an advertisement of who the author is or who the seller is. And even if you are freelancing, guys, even if you are freelancing or starting an agency, all these are important to try to convert people. So when you are writing the copy, you need to include all these triggers in your entire thing, right? So this is RCAS. And now let's look at another most important trigger. So when you are looking at Amazon, when you are trying to buy a product on Amazon, let's say you are seeing a product which is having a rating of 5 stars. It has a rating of 5 stars, but you are thinking, okay, maybe I should order this, maybe I should not order this, right? But imagine that what will happen, what will make you go and buy it immediately? Okay, let me go ahead and order it right now. What will make you do that? So for people who are asking whether I will get the slides, yes, you will get the slides, and you will also get the recording of this. All right. So urgency, price point, and how do you define urgency? Fantastic. So you go ahead and basically order it if it says only 1 unit remaining, or if it is only 2 units remaining, you will go and order it immediately. So that is scarcity. Scarcity is basically finding water in a desert. If it is scarce, then it is of higher value. And that is how people get convinced to pay a premium for things that are scarce. And automatically when something is scarce, you want to go and get it. And that is the human mentality. And that is why when I am doing my internship program in batches, and when I am saying that the batch is closing and I can only take limited students in every internship program, then there is a mad rush for people to join my internship program. So here you can see that I'm stacking one on top of each other. I'm giving away free content. I'm teaching for free, which is reciprocity. I am getting consistency by giving away free content. I'm getting people to consume my content so that people consume more content from me in the future. Then I'm going ahead and building my authority. I'm showing my authority. I'm publishing books. I'm showcasing, the clients that I'm working with, and I'm working with a lot of big clients. Then I'm creating social proof. I'm getting ratings from people. I'm getting all this feedback. I'm doing video interviews with customers and students and everything. And then I'm also going ahead and creating scarcity, right? So all this is converting people. Yes. Do you agree that all this is converting people? And RCA, yes. We are at RCA, yes. Got it? So that you can remember. Reciprocity, consistency, authority, social proof, scarcity. We have covered 5 of this. So how many of you feel like this webinar is valuable so far? You are learning something new? Yes. Valuable. So this is something that you can even apply with your friends, with your family. Like for example, if you want to, nowadays, a lot of people want to convince their parents of something. And imagine that if you go ahead and show social proof to them, hey, others are doing it, let me also do it. Then of course they will get influenced, right? So you can go ahead and use some of the triggers in other parts of your life as well. The 6th trigger of conversion trigger is liking. And people will always go ahead and do business with someone who they like rather than doing business with someone who they don't like. And that is why being humble is very important. So when you are very humble, then you are going to have more liking for your character, and the people will relate to you better. And that is why sometimes I try to showcase that. Like for example, if you are from Mumbai and I tell you that I have visited Mumbai and Mumbai is a beautiful city, then would you like me more, Mumbaikars here? So how do you generate liking? You generate liking because there are some common things between you and the other person. And when you look at, let's say you go and meet a random person in a conference, and you are talking for a while, just saying hi, and then you find out that you both of you went to the same school. Would you start liking each other immediately, right? And if you feel that both of you speak the same mother tongue, or both of you are from the same city, then you will start generating liking immediately. And so liking is always generated when there are common things. Like for example, you might like me more, like even if there is an expert who is a digital marketing expert who is better than me and he is in the US, And if you cannot go ahead and relate to him, and if you don't like him, and if you cannot see that, okay, he comes from a different world, he does not come from my own world, then you will not have that comfort level with him, right? You will probably have more liking for me and more comfort level with me, because if I say I'm an engineer, I'm a civil engineer who never got a civil engineering job, and I basically did not do very well in college, and I did not learn at IIT or IIM or anything like that. And how many of you are engineers here? When I say I'm also an engineer, do you feel like there is a connection? And I am not from a major city. I am not from a major city. I moved from Salem to Bangalore, and right now I am at Salem. And when I say that, hey, I am a small town boy, I am from a tier 2 city, and everybody who is originally from a tier 2 city, you will feel like you like me more. And what has happened is that, I have traveled to all the cities. I post photos of it. I have traveled to Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai, Hyderabad, Kolkata, and everywhere I have traveled. And when I tell my people that, when I tell my tribe that I have been to these cities and this is what I like about the cities, then the liking goes up, right? I have also started seriously considering trying to learn a bit of all the languages so that people like me more. I am yet to learn Telugu, Marathi, and all those languages. But अगर मैं हिंदी में बात करता हूँ तो जो भी हिंदी लोग हैं यहाँ, आपको मुझे बहुत ज्यादा पसंद होगा. Or நான் போய் தமிழ்ல பேசினேன் அப்படின்னா நான் தமிழ் தான். ஸோ இங்க இருக்க தமிழ் பசங்களுக்கு எல்லாமே வந்து எனக்கு கொஞ்சம் ரொம்ப பிடிச்சி போயிடும், ரைட்? ஸோ ஐ ஜஸ்ட் ஸ்போக் அ லிட்டில் பிட் ஆஃப் ஹிந்தி அண்ட் தமிழ், and I will go ahead and talk more of it, and try to get more fluent with it. So I am planning to learn Marathi. I'm planning to learn a bit of every language, like Telugu, Malayalam, so that I can go ahead and do a bit of those languages during the webinars, because we have people from all over India here, and that way we are going to have a better connect with the audience. So you need to go ahead and be humble, and you need to go ahead and try to develop liking with your tribe from your customers. And yeah, by the way, I grew up in Gujarat. How many of you are Gujaratis here? I grew up in Gujarat, and I was in Rajkot for 4 years. From first standard to fourth standard, I was in Rajkot. So, but I don't know Gujarati. I was a very small boy then. I can say Kemcho. That's it. That's all I know in Gujarati. All right. So anyway, so Punjabi, Telugu, Malayalam, Marathi, everything is on the line, including Bengali. So I will go ahead and learn a little bit sooner. And see, now people are like totally excited. I see the chat blowing up. So this is how liking works, right? So now, do you think that you are a little bit more influenced to buy from me? Is it easier for me to sell my products to you because you like me more, because I'm speaking your language? Yes. So how much have we covered? We have covered RCASSL. Just type RCASSL in the chat box. All right, RCASSL. So these things have been covered in Robert Cialdini's book, which is Influence. So all these things have been covered. And there is one more thing that I added, which is not covered in Robert Cialdini's book, which is fear. And what products do you think that fear is used as a trigger in the market out there? What products do you think fear is used as a trigger? Insurance companies, medicines, supplements, cleaning liquids. All these things are used with the fear, right? And the internship program works very well, and people take action because there is a fear of losing money. People join the internship program by paying a deposit, and if they don't actually learn the classes, and if they don't complete the classes, then they are going to lose the money that they have invested. So there is a fear of losing money. So the fear of losing money is always going to be more than the possibility of gaining money, right? That is why it is working very well. And there is a fear of missing out as well. Fear of missing out will actually come into the category of scarcity. And when the whole world said that, hey, be at home, don't travel a lot, don't pollute a lot, then nobody took any attention, right? And now people are saying that there is coronavirus, don't go out, everybody is sitting at home, right? When there is a fear, it is a very, very good way to get people to take action. So one of the ways that you use fear in an ethical way is to go ahead and tell people that, what are you going to lose if you are not buying this product or service from me? What are you going to lose? If you focus on what people are going to possibly lose, then they are more likely to go ahead and buy something, right? So RCA SSLF, just type RCA SSLF. Now we have covered the 7 triggers. You remember everything? And how many of you think that these 7 triggers are very powerful? Yes. Is it exciting? Is it giving you confidence that if you use these techniques, you will be able to sell better? Because the ability to sell either as a salesman or either as a person directly is going to be very important, right? Fantastic. So now I will go into sales techniques and how you can convert a potential customer into a buying customer. And towards the end of this webinar, I will give you some gifts as well for people who have not already received it. Reciprocity in the work. So I will give you a free course towards the end if you stay until the end of this webinar. Otherwise, you will lose the amazing content that is going to come. So now when you see that I am communicating with my sales messages, emails and everything, immediately you will start remembering Deepak is using one of those triggers, right? So now, will you go ahead and do a retweet again? So these are the 7 triggers of conversion. So just type yes in the chat box if you are ready to retweet. So I will give you the link in the chat box. So these are the 7 triggers of conversion. So let me go ahead and give you the link for it. And now that I have given you like so much value with this, I expect at least 1,000 retweet, guys. So give me 1,000 retweets. Let me go ahead and give you the link in the chat box. And if you give 1,000 retweets, I'm going to give like a free course to everyone towards the end of this webinar. Reciprocity, guys. Reciprocity. I'm giving you a free course and free webinar, right? So give me retweet in return. I think it's easier to convince you that way when I say that you feel an obligation to reciprocate this to me. So go ahead and give me 1,000 retweets. And we have 2,687 people right now. And I hope like pretty much everyone here is using Twitter. So go ahead and retweet. So we have got 200 retweets. Yes. So these are the triggers that I used in my sales copy. So if you look at my sales copy, you will now start noticing there are so many things. There is social proof. You will be able to see social proof, right? There is social proof. There is reviews of all the products. Positive reviews, ratings, social proof is very important. There is going to be a long sales copy, and sometimes I put a countdown timer, and once I put a countdown timer, I end up start getting a lot of sales. So you can put like a countdown timer into the thing, and that would be like scarcity. And I also go ahead and put my authority, who I am, what I have done, and that becomes like my authority. And yeah, 326 retweets. All right, where are we? Come on, guys, go ahead and retweet, retweet, retweet. And you can also retweet with a comment if you want. So the 7 triggers of conversion are reciprocity, consistency, authority, social proof, scarcity, liking, and fear. And go ahead and type done in the chat box if you are done retweeting this. Go ahead and type done in the chat box. Fantastic. All right. Thank you for everyone who has retweeted, and really feels glad to see so much social proof. And you can see there are so many comments here. Wonderfully explained. Yes, thanks a lot. If you don't have a Twitter account, it's fine. You can go ahead and share this sometime later on LinkedIn, Facebook, or somewhere else. And you can also go ahead and follow me on Twitter, right? You can also go ahead and follow me on Twitter. That will also help. So let's get back to the presentation, guys. Let's get back to the presentation. A few more important things to cover here. So now that we have talked about, guys, go ahead and just sign up for a Twitter account next time you come for my webinar. And Twitter is really a good place to hang out. Facebook is now becoming very noisy. Instagram is not serious enough. So do Twitter, right? Twitter I post out quotes, and I publish a lot of quotes. I publish a lot of information there, and Twitter is very important, right? So if you are posting on LinkedIn also, it's fine. And Facebook is also getting like very less serious now. All right, go and create a Twitter account. So now that I have shown you all this, and you have to understand that these methods are like really powerful, and you have to use it ethically. Like, do not use the scarcity technique if you think that if you think that you are like lying. Like, for example, if you say that this is the last day to buy a product, make it really the last day. All right, do not make it fake. If you make it fake, then over time you will lose the respect and authority that you have with people, and you should not be losing that respect and authority, because that will affect your brand a lot. And you should go ahead and make sure that you are using it in an ethical way, and that is how you are going to build the brand for the long term. In the short term, you will start seeing a lot of sales if you use social proof. A lot of people also do fake social proof, where they don't really have customers, but then they go ahead and pay people to go ahead and create like a fake video or something. And those fake social proof is also going to like affect you a lot. So don't do that, guys. Never do fake social proof, and I hope you will agree with that. So now let's get into the sales techniques. All right. So this is the basics of sales, and you might have already listened to this when I did the lead generation webinar. And whenever you are having a prospect, the prospect is in the current state, right? The prospect is in a state. Like for example, what state are you in? You are in a state where you are not yet a digital marketing expert. And what is your desired state? You want to become a digital marketing expert. Your current state is that you are probably not in a job that you are happy with, and you are probably not making income that you are happy with. What is your desired state? You want your dream job, or you want to become a successful freelancer, or you want to become an agency owner, and you want to become a good money maker, right? You want to make a lot of money by doing whatever you do. So now there is a current state and there is a desired state, right? And then there is a gap between these two things. Your product is basically a stepping stone to help people to get here to here, right? Get from here to here. And if you approach your entire product in such a way that you are trying to make sales for yourself, then I'm very sorry to say that you will not be able to do it properly, right? So if you are going ahead and trying to make money, and you are seeing that, you know, a lot of people try to just go out and sell, trying to make money for themselves. When they try to make money for themselves, and when they are in the always that mindset, hey, how do I go ahead and make money, then you are not thinking about the customer. And this is just like when you go to a doctor. Do you think that the doctor is starting to sell you medicines immediately without diagnosing you? Do you think that the doctor is trying to sell you something without even diagnosing you? And what would you feel if you go ahead and try to tell a doctor that, doctor, I have pain in my stomach, right? Or something like that. And if the doctor immediately starts saying that, even before you say that you have pain in the stomach, without asking you, you know, what is the real problem, if the doctor says that, hey, I am this, I am that, like obviously all the social proof and everything is important. But if the doctor immediately strikes to sell you something, you are going to feel like, okay, this is not like a genuine guy. This guy is trying to sell me something and I don't want to buy, right? This will be so the first, the doctor is going to ask you your current state. Where are you right now? Even if the doctor has an idea about what your problem is, he is going to go ahead and so I have stopped the chat, by the way. So he is going to go ahead and ask you what is the problem, right? You know, understand their current state is the first thing that you do. So whether you have customers, whether you have clients, you need to understand what is their current state. So if you are a freelancer, and how many of you here want to become a freelancer? Because right now freelancing is the hottest thing, right? Just type freelancer in the chat box if you want to become a freelancer. Type freelancer in the chat box. So one of the things that I'm teaching in my internship program, towards the end of the internship program, after you have learned digital marketing, is that how do you become a freelancer, and how do you provide services like Facebook ads, Google ads, SEO, and all those services to other businesses, is something that I'm going to teach you. And a lot of people want to become a freelancer. So as a freelancer, if you're approaching a business and if you are trying to sell your products and services to them, you should not immediately go ahead and say that, hey, these are the credentials I have, I'm a Facebook ads expert, I would like to, you know, sell this to you. Nobody wants to hear that. First, you need to understand the customer's pain point. Are you getting enough customers? Are you able to get customers via digital marketing? Is this working? So all that you have to ask them. And just like a doctor is asking, so you need to understand their current state very well. Without understanding their current state, they are not going to know that you have the solution. And imagine if you go to a doctor and the doctor is exactly telling you what is your problem. All right. So let's say you have pain in your shoulder on the backside when you raise your hand. That is your exact problem. And you go to the doctor and you tell the doctor that, doctor, I have pain in my shoulder. And the doctor exactly says, Do you have pain on the backside of your shoulder, and does it pain when you are trying to raise your hand? Imagine you will automatically think that the doctor has the solution for you, even if the doctor has not told you about the solution. Agree? Just type agree in the chat box if you agree. So here, if you understand people's problems clearly, just because you understand their problem clearly, they will immediately think that you have a solution, even if you don't have a solution. But let's assume that you have the solution here, right? So basically what is happening is that you are going to place your product from the current state to the desired state, and a lot of time people don't even know their current state very clearly, and people don't know about their desired state clearly. All right. So what you are going to do is that as a salesman, you are going to separate these two states. So let's say this is the current state and this is the desired state. What you are going to do is that you are going to separate these two states. And when you are separating these two states, then there is going to be a tension there. It's just like pulling a rubber band. If you are pulling a rubber band, there is going to be a tension, and the rubber band is going to try to get back to its original state, right? So if the customer is going to be happy with wherever they are, and if you go and intensify their pain by re-establishing what is the current state and going ahead and trying to tell them what is their desired state, if you stretch it too much also, it will lose its elasticity. Yes, you are right, Preeti. But here what we are basically looking at, stretching in a gentle way so that there is some tension created so that it can go back, right? So imagine that you are pulling like a rubber band, and you are pulling the desired state here and you want this state to come here. That is what you are doing with sales, and this is a very different way to think about sales, and nobody will explain it to you like this. All right. So I feel like it is very important to explain like this, otherwise you will not understand. So you are understanding their current state, but you are also telling the desired state. So imagine the doctor is saying that, okay, you have a pain in your shoulder. For that, you need to go under a surgery. But once the surgery is done for this particular problem, then you will not have that problem for the rest of your life. You will be pain free and you will be able to enjoy your life fully. So the doctor is telling you about about your desired state also. So here there is a need for you to go ahead and convert that, right? So here the desired state should be realistic. It should not be imaginary. It should not be something that you are doing a false statement about. So first in the sales process, what you do is that you are establishing the current state and the desired state very clearly. So you need to tell people that what is your current state. So that is why if you look at my sales webinars, I'm asking people, what is the income that you are earning right now, and what is your status? Are you a student, or you a professional, or you're an entrepreneur? And I'm going to ask them, hey, what is your current state? How much income are you making right now? And then this is what we do in sales. We are asking where the user is right now, and this is the most ethical way to sell. You are actually selling very ethically. You are not trying to manipulate people to try to buy into something, and you are not trying to give discounts or anything of those manipulative techniques, right? So you are asking where the user wants to be. So you are asking where the user is right now. You are asking where the user wants to be. So you are basically separating the current state and the desired state. What happens? There is a tension created. And once the tension is created, you are going to place your product in between these two tensions, right? That is where your product is fitting. So ask them how their life would change if they reach their desired state. This is called future pacing. So let's say I approach a client, and let's say this client is a dentist, and I'm asking this dentist, are you getting enough clients for your business? The dentist is saying no. I'm asking, how many leads are you generating right now? The dentist is saying, I'm hardly generating like 5 leads a day, which is not enough for my business. So what is your problem right now? Why don't you just stay at the current state? So you also have to intensify that pain, right? Why do you need to work hard? Why do you even need to get to the desired state? Because getting to the desired state means that there is an obstacle that you have to cross, which is usually buying the product or the service that you are selling, right? So you are going to intensify that pain, and you are also going to ask them what's stopping them from going there by themselves. So if I'm talking to this dentist, I'm asking them, hey, how many leads are you generating right now? It's just 5 leads a day. So how many leads you want to generate? The dentist is saying, so why always dentist? Yeah, why always dentist? Let me go ahead and talk about a lawyer or a law firm. Okay, so I'm selling digital marketing services to a law firm, and I'm asking the lawyer, how many leads are you generating right now? I am saying that they are saying that 5 leads per day, and I'm asking them, how many leads do you want to generate? They are saying that 100 leads per day. And first they will have a doubt, because just by asking a question, do you want to generate 100 leads a day? They are already thinking that I am going to help them generate 100 leads a day, right? Already the tension starts creating. And I'm asking them, how will your business change if you start generating 100 leads a day? And then he would say that I will grow my law firm. I will make sure that all the current employees are going to stay stable. I don't need to fire them. I can keep my office. So now they have started thinking the future pacing, right? Started thinking about the future reality that is there, right? And this is like, you know, brain hacking. You are hacking into their brain, you are hacking into their psychology. And I don't know computer hacking, but I don't know how, I know how to hack into people's brains. And if I know how to hack into people's brains and get them to buy my product, I can pay someone else to do the programming, coding and everything, right? I don't know coding, I'm not a tech guy, but I know how to hack into people's mind, and I know how to make them take their wallet out and pay me. So here you are also going to ask them what's stopping them from going there by themselves. So here they need to release the control. If they think that they can get to 100 leads a day directly by themselves, then what will happen is that then there is no requirement, right? There is no requirement for you. So they need to understand that they need you. Like that's what I do in my sales webinars. I do in my sales webinars is that, do you think that you are going to learn digital marketing by themselves, by yourself? If you think that you can learn digital marketing by yourself, you don't need to join my program. You are going to join my program because you think I can guide you, but you cannot get there by themselves, by yourself, right? So you are going to ask the client, do you think you can get there by themselves? They will say no. And you have to ask them explicitly. They have to release the control. I cannot get there by myself. You go on and help me do it. And you also go ahead and tell them that, why don't they remain in the current situation? Hey, why don't you just, you know, isn't your business doing good just with 5 leads a day? And when people are like, you know, trying to learn digital marketing from me, I ask them, why do you want to put so much hard work in learning digital marketing and trying to change your career, become a freelancer or become a digital mentor? I ask them, like, why don't you remain in your current state? And then people tell me, I want to make more income. I want to quit my job. I want travel freedom. I am afraid that my current job might lay me off, or I'm afraid that I might not be future ready. So only then, you know, the current state and the current pain point gets established. You need to remind them of the current pain point, and then you don't even need to sell. You don't even need to push it, right? You have already created the tension between the current state and the desired state, and then you are giving your solution to them, and they will automatically buy it. You don't even need to push it. That is why every time I'm selling my internship program or my courses, it always sells out. I am not able to get more students into the program because I'm not even creating a pressure. And this is definitely not manipulation. This is not sales manipulation. You are not manipulating people. You are being very honest with people, and you are being very clear. You know what is manipulation? Trying to give a discount, and then every day you are saying that today is the last day, but the last day never comes. That is manipulation, right? So you should not manipulate, and you have to ask them to respond with a yes or no, right? You have to ask them to respond with a yes or no. If they say maybe I will join, then they are not going to join. Then they are not going to become your client. So you think this is powerful? Just type powerful in the chat box if you think this is powerful. And do you think that this is ethical to do this? Yes. Just type ethical in the chat box if you think that this is ethical and powerful. And this is too powerful. Somebody is saying too powerful. Right? So the easiest way to make sales, is to separate the current state and the desired state and place your product in between. So that is the easiest way to make sales, right? The easiest way to make sales is to separate the current state and the desired state and place your product in between. Automatically your product will sell. And this is the most ethical way to sell that I have discovered. You know, a lot of people are trying to pressure people into buy. You know, you see a lot of banks and a lot of credit card companies, they are just pestering you. And they are like, you know, in India, what is the sales technique, you know? Sir, please, sir. Sir, please. Sir, please buy this, sir. That is the sales technique that Indian sales guys know. Nobody knows actual sales techniques. I have not seen anyone in India demonstrate these sales techniques to people. And, you know, constantly calling you. I mean, like, dude, I'm not interested. Please, sir, please, sir, I have to meet my targets. Please buy this, sir. Please put FD. Please buy credit card. So this is way better because here, this is just like a doctor who is selling a solution. See, the doctor is going to ask you questions, and the doctor is going to make you buy. So it's buyer enablement. It is buyer enablement. It is not pushing people. It is not pushing people to buy. You are just enabling the buyer by uh, being very, very clear, right? So now you are going to position your product between the states. So ask them if you can help them with the transition. If you are a freelancer who is selling to sell a digital marketing service, you ask them if you can help them with the transition. You ask them for the permission to share your solution with them. And how many of you here are taking notes? Just type notes in the chat box if you are taking notes for all this. Yes? Fantastic. Very good. So you are going to ask them if they think you can help them with the transition. So when you are selling something to a client, let's say in the case of a freelancing business, you are going to ask the client, so do you think that I can help you get from 5 leads a day to 100 leads a day? Or if I'm selling my digital marketing internship program or my course to you, I'm going to ask you, do you think that I can be your digital marketing mentor? Can I be your digital mentor? Yes. And I'm going to ask you, do you think that I can help you go ahead from your current state to desired state? And then I get you to say yes. And then I'm going to ask you permission to share my solution with you. Or if you are selling something, then you are going to ask them permission. So I will come back with a proposal. Can I go ahead and show the proposal to you? And then you are creating scarcity and you are persuading them to buy. Then you are going to do the profit. And then you are taking the profit and reinvesting back into lead generation. So this is what I have for today. And I hope you found the webinar useful. Was it like, really a lot of value that you got from today's webinar? Did you understand how copywriting works, how sales works and everything? And guys, stay behind. I have a few more things for you, and I will give you a free course as well. So we will end the webinar by 10:30, another 10 minutes. And this is another book that I recommend you to read. It's called Scientific Advertising. Very good book, and this has been published in, I think, before 1950s. And this is a very good book for copywriting. It's called the Adweek Copywriting book, and it also helps you with understanding how the whole process of copywriting works. And in my internship program, and eventually when I launch my copywriting mastery course, I will be having a lot more in-depth content. So what I want you to do is that, I know that there is a lot of questions that people have, but since we have something like 400 people live right now, I will not be able to go ahead and take questions right now. So what I will do is that I will go ahead and ask you to ask the question on the Facebook group, and you can ask the question there. And in the next webinar that I do, I will answer all those questions. All right. So go ahead and retweet this first, and then I will also go and ask the Facebook question there. You can go ahead and retweet this. The easiest way to make sales is to separate the current state and the desired state and place your product in between. Very, very simple way to sell. All right. So let me go to my Facebook group and let me ask you, what are the questions you have for today? So that you can ask the questions. A lot of people might have a lot of questions. And if you see a question that is already repeated, if you have a question in mind and if you see that question there, then you can just go ahead and like that. All right. You can go ahead and just like that question instead of asking it again. So what are the questions you have about copywriting and sales based on today's webinar? So you can go ahead and put your question here. So by the way, stay until the end of this webinar. Tomorrow morning, I am doing a webinar on Instagram with a partner who is an Instagram expert. And I hope a lot of people here are interested in learning about Instagram. Yes. And you will be able to go ahead and sign up for that webinar also. All right. So a lot of people are saying, show that book again. So this is that book, by the way. It's called, I will send you these books to you. So I will share the link on the Facebook group, and go ahead and click on that link and ask your questions on this particular link so that I know what are the questions you have. All right. And if you are not accepted into the Facebook group yet, give me a few more days. You will get accepted. Certificate link, I will send it to you on email. So what happens is that if I say, share the certificate link on the webinar, some 1,000 people try to generate the certificate at the same time and the system breaks. So what I will do is that I will go ahead and send you the link, and I will also send you the Zapier Mastery course there. So a lot of people are asking for the names of the books. Don't worry, I will give you the names of the books. I will give the names of the books on the email. And a lot of people are also asking about the internship program. I will give you details about it. So pretty much everybody has questions about the books. Guys, I got it. You have questions about the books. Ask some other question. And if you know the answer, go ahead and put the book there. So the internship program is a free program, but you need to pay a security deposit, and then you will get the security deposit back once you complete all the assignments. That's how the internship program works. So I would say that the internship program is free. Whatever money I am collecting is your money, but it is kept as a security deposit. So Rahul Kirodia is saying will work like butter in offline sales too. Absolutely, this will work in offline sales, stage sales, webinar sales, everywhere it will work very well. Guys, copyright is different. COPYRIGHT is different. Copywriting is different. Copyright is about protection of your intellectual property. Copywriting means you are like writing the copy, right? So for people who are interested in my internship program, I will share the link with you here. So this is my internship program link. You can go ahead and ask the questions about the internship program on this link, and you can go ahead and retweet it if you want to spread the word about it. So that is the internship program you can see here, and go ahead and ask your questions about the internship program here. And once you apply using this link, I will send you a launch webinar invitation. And in the launch webinar invitation, you will be able to go ahead and enroll for the internship program. All right. So thanks for the retweets, guys. I see 479 retweets for this. And I see 358 retweets for this particular thing. And what else do we have? This also has like 233 retweets. Thanks a lot. I think today I gained another 200 Twitter followers. So the internship program seats are not full. We still have seats left, and I will be doing another launch webinar, and you will be able to go out and join the internship program from there. All right, so I will just quickly share the link for tomorrow's webinar here. So tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock, I have a webinar on Instagram. And how many of you here wants to learn about Instagram? Just type Insta in the chat box. The free gift I will give you, wait for it. So just type Insta in the chat box if you want to learn about Instagram. So I will just share the link with you. Give me one moment. So that's 11th of July. And that would be 11 a.m. That would be at 11 a.m. Registration required. So I will schedule this. So I will share the link for the Instagram webinar on the chat box right now. And you can just go ahead and register with one click. I think your name, email ID will show up automatically. So it is tomorrow at 11 o'clock. So I've shared the link on the chat box. So go ahead and click on that link and sign up for the webinar tomorrow. And let me go ahead and fetch the Digital Marketing Tools Mastery for you. So go ahead and click that link to get the Digital Marketing Tools Mastery course for free. I will send you the certificate link and the Zapier Mastery course link to you on the email. And I need one more help from you guys. The last favor that I ask of you. So how many of you like today's webinar and would like to attend more webinars like this? Just type like in the chat box. If you have liked today's webinar and you want to attend more content webinars like this. So the only source of communication that I have is email, and email is the only way I can go ahead and communicate to you about the webinars that I do. And it is very important that you do not miss my emails. All right, it's very important that you do not miss my emails. So what I request you to do is that I want you to log in into your email inbox right now, and I want you to add mail@digitaldeepak.com, which is my email ID, to your contacts list. All right, and you can add deepak@pixeltrack.com also to your contacts list. So deepak@pixeltrack.com. So it will just take a moment, and I hope you know how to add it to your contacts, right? So if you can do that, then we will make sure that your future emails that you are getting from me, you will never miss it. Or you can also put a label for it. You can put like a separate label for it also. So this is the mail ID, mail@digitaldeepak.com to your contacts list. And you can also add deepak@pixeltrack.com to your contact list, right? So this will make sure that you will never miss an email from me. And I will also share a masterclass with you. So if you have done, just type done in the chat box. You know what? Go ahead, and you would have got an email. You would have got an email that webinar is starting right now. Yes, you got an email that the webinar is starting right now. If you open your inbox, just reply to that email saying done. Just reply to that email saying done, so that I know that you are inside your email inbox and you have done it. Just add it to the contacts list, and that should be enough. So what you can do is that you can go to contacts.google.com. So I will share the link with you. You can go to contacts.google.com and go ahead and click on create contact and create a contact, and create contact. You can add it, right? So this is how it looks, guys. This is how it looks. So you can add my name. You can say Digital Deepak, and you can add my email ID here, mail@digitaldeepak.com. And you can add one more email ID, which is deepak@pixeltrack.com. And you can click on save. So once you click on save, then the contact will be added. So that's what you need to do. So that once the contact is there, then my email ID, the emails that I send, you will never miss the emails. All right. So Gmail. One second. So go ahead and reply to that email and say done. So I see a bunch of emails that have come, and you can always do that. You can reply to my emails. So contacts.google.com. All right. Just type added in the chat box if you have added this. Just type added. Fantastic. And you can put all panelists and attendees. So this will make sure that you will never miss my emails, and we will also make sure that you can put a label for it separately. And a lot of people are asking for the lead generation mastery class. So I will share that with you as well. So if you have not watched my master class on lead generation, a lot of people were asking about it. So let me go ahead and share that to you with you as well. So I have created a video called The Ultimate Guide to Lead Generation. And this video has 36,000 views as of now. And in this video also, I have covered the sales tactics and a lot more than that. I have also covered a lot of techniques about lead generation. So marketing automation certificate and the certificate for this particular class, I will send it to you on email along with the Zapier course, guys. Along with the Zapier course, I will send it to you on email. And you can go ahead and click on that YouTube link, go ahead and bookmark it, and you can go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you want to hit like on this, you can hit like on this. You can go ahead and put a comment here. So this is a 3 hours 40 minutes video on lead generation. And in this video also, I have covered the sales tactics. You can have a look at it. All right, so go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel, leave a comment on this video, and hit like on this video. So some of the slides are also available in this, but I've also talked about lead generation. I've talked about B2B lead generation, B2C lead generation tools and everything here. So go ahead and click on this YouTube link, hit like on the video, help me reach 4K likes, and you can leave a comment there also, and you can watch this later. All right. So this is an excellent video that I have created, like 3 hours, 40 minutes. It's like a course in itself. All right, so this is like a course in itself. You can watch this video and you can learn pretty much everything that is required to learn about lead generation. And I hope you have got the Digital Marketing Tools Mastery course for free as well. Yes. Just type got it in the chat box if you have got Digital Marketing Tools Mastery. Fantastic. All right, so I think we have pretty much covered everything that we wanted to cover today. You guys have added the contacts. You guys have followed me on Twitter, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Let me just check if there is anything left. Yep, pretty much we are done. So how many of you here are interested in joining the internship program? Just type intern in the chat box. And somebody is commenting, wear a mask. I'm in my room, I'm inside my home, I'm not roaming outside. I don't need to wear a mask while I'm doing a webinar. So a lot of people want to join the internship program. I have given you the link for it on my Twitter, right? You can go ahead and follow that link, or I will share the link to the application directly with you. I will share the link to the application. You need to apply to join my internship program. The batch is starting on July 25th. All right. So for people who have applied, please wait for my mail. People who have not applied, you can click on that link that I have shared with you. That is the application form. So if you want to register for the Instagram webinar, tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock, I have shared the link with you. So you can go ahead and click on that link and attend the Instagram webinar. So for people who want to join my internship program, I'm planning to do a launch program on July 12th. And this time we are having a 16-week program, which means that the next batch will start only after 16 weeks, which will be only by November or December. So it is going to be batch 4, guys. It is going to be batch 4. So the timings for the internship program, the classes and the recorded videos will be released every Sunday. And then we will go ahead and do Q&A sessions for you guys. All right. So time required for the internship program will be 3 to 5 hours every week. Internship program is free, but you need to pay a security deposit. That's how it works. Raj Parekh, I will let you know about it. Wait for my email. Copywriting mastery course launch will take some time, guys. How many of you are interested in getting the copywriting mastery course now that you have attended today's webinar? I'm planning to make it. I'm yet to make it. And how much do you think you will be ready to pay for the copywriting mastery course? I see a lot of people saying 5K, 10K. So for people who still want to hang around today's webinar, let me go ahead and ask you, what are the things that you want me to cover on the copywriting mastery course so that I can create the outline for the copywriting mastery course right away? So you can go ahead and let me know in the chat box. What do you want to learn when it starts? So copywriting mastery course, introduction to copywriting. Guys, if you want to leave the webinar, you can leave right now. I would like to do some brainstorming with the people who are here, and you help me create the outline for the copywriting mastery course. So you want landing pages, you want blogging. Certificate link, I will send it to you on email. I will send it to you on email. I will send it to you on email. Content writing and SEO will be different courses. It will not be part of copywriting. You probably want to learn ad copywriting, how to write sales copy for Facebook ads, how to write sales copy for Google ads. You want to learn sales tactics, email copywriting, pitching for clients, creating proposals, copywriting for affiliate marketing. Zapier course, I will send it to you on email. I am seeing the same questions again and again. So earning money as a copywriting freelancing. All right. Copywriting freelancing is there. So copywriting and sales mastery course. All right. And sales mastery course. So guys, if you want to leave the webinar right now, if it is getting late for you, you can leave. But I would like to do some brainstorming right now. A/B testing. SEO copywriting. Case studies. What else do you want to learn? How to practice it? Long copy versus short copy. Creating proposals. Copywriting freelancing. हाँ, उसमें आ जाएगा. So copywriting freelancing में Fiverr आ जाएगा और Upwork. Creating proposals is repeated twice. Yes. So ad agency, creating an ad agency. Psychological triggers. We need to do topic based structuring. Yes. Business writing. What else do you want to learn? How to do stage selling. How to do webinar selling. Buyer personas. Client pitch. Phone sales. We can do phone sales. One-to-one sales meeting. Color psychology. Interesting. So yeah, this gives me an idea about what you guys need. Copywriting and sales mastery. So I'll just save this. Hope this looks interesting. How much would you be like? Would you be interested in joining the copywriting mastery course? Or how about a copywriting internship program after the basic internship program? We can do that as well, right? Fantastic. All right, guys, I think it's time to wind up today's webinar. And thank you for joining today's webinar. We really had like a huge response today. And thanks for the retweets. Thanks for the YouTube comments. I hope you have subscribed to my YouTube channel and look forward to videos. Look forward to the recording of this webinar on the YouTube channel itself. And I hope you liked today's webinar. All right. And I hope you have taken notes. So I will send you the certificate link for you. And I can just ask you one final question on the Facebook group about your feedback for today's webinar. So what did you learn today in the copywriting and sales webinar? So I will ask this question on Facebook and ask you to go ahead and leave a comment there so that I can capture all the feedback. Don't just say single word feedback. Give me like a few words. Give me like a sentence or something. So I've given you the link. So go ahead and put your comments on this link. I hope you found that the webinar was useful. And when you come to the internship program, in the internship program, I will actually make you write a sales copy. I will give you the assignments. Guys, don't just give one word. Give like a few words. Give like a sentence. What did you learn today? You can talk about RCA, SSLF. You can talk about the sales tactics that we discussed, whatever we have discussed. So with a link that I have given you. So let me go and read out all the comments. How to establish current and future stages. Dirishan is saying, Vaibhav, thank you so much for giving valuable time and knowledge. Thank you, Vaibhav. It was really useful, eager to join the internship. Thank you, Ankit. Thank you, Deshan. Seven Triggers. Bhushan, thank you. Ajay Kumar, thank you. Varun, thank you. Nandish, thank you. I will read out your names as well if you go and leave a comment here. So direct response advertising, uh, amazing learning, clear and confident to drive into new tools, how to convince a customer by giving something and asking, how to convert prospect into customers, long copy versus short copy, standard principle and basic parameter behind the sales, call to action, 7 triggers, RCA, SSLF. My first webinar attended and very good experience. Thank you, Fahad Khan. Thank you, Shikhar. Thank you, Hari. Thank you, Raj. Thank you, Tanjore. Thank you, Hari. Thank you, Keval. Late night information you learned. Wonderful webinar concept becomes clear with Deepak sir. So a lot of people have said that I have the ability to take complex concepts and explain it in a very simple way. Do you feel the same? I think that is one of the skills that I have been working on for a long time to really create complex concepts and take like put it in a very simple way so that you can understand easily. So thank you, Sonali. Thank you, Aravind. Thank you, Bhupati. Thank you, Nilesh. Thank you. Thank you, Ajay. Thank you, Rukmini. Thank you, Priyanka. Thank you, Bhavyank. All right. Thank you, Shahid. Thank you, Sanskruti. Thank you, Srikant. Thank you, Shreya. Thank you, Aptakir. Thank you, Pratap. Thank you, Shivani. Thank you, Anand. Thank you. Thank you, Vijay. Thank you, Atreya. Thank you, Aditi. Thank you, Shiba. Thank you, Aman. Thank you, Sridevi. Thank you, Venkatesh. Thank you, Sunil. Thank you, Nibat. Thank you, Raghava. Thank you, Rajendra. Arvind, Sunil, Shailesh, Adil, Sandeep, Trishan. Fahad, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I will send you the recorded video, guys, for people who joined late. So RCSSLF was interesting, informative. Thank you, Bharat. Thank you, Krishveni. Thank you, Devaraj. Thank you, Jignesh. Thank you, Venu Natraj. Thank you, Adil. Thank you, Manish. Thank you, Kirtika. All right. So I will like the rest of the comments later. And I think it is time to say good night. Thanks a lot. And whenever there is a webinar, I will inform on Telegram. I hope you are already part of my Telegram group. Yes. Are you already part of my Telegram group? So I will share the link to my Telegram group. So I will give the webinar notifications on email. I will also give it on the Telegram group. All right. So I will share the link with you for the Telegram. Give me one moment. So I'm sharing the link with you for the Telegram group. You can join the Telegram group. And in the Telegram group, I will be giving you notification about the webinars that I'm doing. All right, you can share that. So for people who are still hanging out, I was thinking we could create a group on Telegram called Sales and Copywriting Group, Digital Deepak. So this is only for the people who have stayed until now, not for rest of the people. Give me one moment while I fetch the link to the Telegram group. So just for the people who are staying, we have like 700 odd people who are still there. So I will share the link to the Telegram group so that you can join, and it will be an open group where you can have some discussions. So I believe that only the people who are like extremely involved and interested are staying around till now. So it will be moderated, yes, but you can join the Telegram group right now. So I am sharing the link so you can have internal discussions with other people. So sometimes you might not be able to join the Telegram group, and so we see a lot of people who are joining right now. So go ahead and introduce yourself in the group. Maybe you can say hello. So now we have a platform where everybody can chat. How many people do we have? 112 members. So you can reply to my chat. So you'll have like a small group of people who are like extremely interested, and you can like kind of connect with other people. And I see Vinod TP. Hi Vinod. So thank you Mahesh for saying that I'm creating value. You are welcome. Guys, if I see any spam or anything like this, then I'm going to delete it and then I'm going to ban it. Please be respectful towards others. Please do not spam, do not share any links. If I see that, then I have to close it. All right. So Binugesh is saying, I found the right mentor for my career. Thank you for saying that. Fantastic. So next webinar ke liye, I will share the link here. So we have 173 members here. All right, guys, I think it's time to end the webinar. It has been going from 9 o'clock. Now it's 11 o'clock. So let's go ahead and end the webinar. So you can go ahead and tell good night. You can tell good night on the Telegram group, or you can say good night on the chat box here. And for people who are yet to join, try to join. You might not be able to join if you're on sometimes Geo network or some networks. Certain networks will not help you join. You might want to connect to a Wi-Fi connection or something, but once you join, then it will get like properly connected. So I see 198 members here. All right. So good night, guys. Thank you. And I will be ending the webinar right now. Thanks a lot.